Hey everybody, welcome to Cars with Cocktails, a show where Charles and I and today's guest drink stuff and talk about car stuff. Today we are with Jamie. Jamie of Elite Motorworks. We are at Jamie's shop. We're going to be working on a project. We actually finished up working on a project, and now we're here.
I think we told them about the project a couple weeks ago.
Oh, we did.
So if you didn't see a couple of podcasts ago
You
where we
should
talked
have.
about the project, figure out whatever episode that was that we actually talked about it, because I don't remember, and watch that one. Yeah. But anyway, big ups to Jamie for, one, being a rad dude, two, having an awesome shop that we can work in, and three, these Stage 5 custom tequila bottles, which are jalapeno flavored tequila.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah. He came in clutch with these and customized for us.
Yeah. Intake, exhaust, Stage 5.
Yeah.
So cheers on that one.
Cheers, guys.
Today we got a super fun topic that I think will really inspire a lot of great jokes. But we're talking about extended warranties. And when we kind of came up with this topic, I know immediately I had a place that I wanted to go. And you guys work with these things in a different capacity and have throughout your careers. So, Jamie, man, let's fire it off.
Yeah, sure. I mean, which way do we want to talk about it? Do we want to talk about the
Whatever
customer
way you wanna
standpoint,
take it
or
first.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good. I think that's a really good place to start with the customer standpoint.
from the customer standpoint? Okay, so I think I get a question all the time from the customers: should I get an extended warranty? And if I get one, who should I go with? And that is a hard question for me to answer because 90% or more, in my opinion, of the extended warranty companies out there are just junk, overpaying for overpromised contracts, basically. Yep. So, I think there's certain cars that people don't really need to spend a warranty on, and there's certain cars they absolutely should have a warranty. Yeah. So it's really hard to answer that question to somebody. It's not, you can't have like a black and white blanket statement of yes, you need a warranty, no, you don't. There's a lot of circumstances that come into play when making that decision.
Yeah, I agree. I think the one thing, when you say the cars comes to mind, I think most people are thinking like, okay, should I buy one, right? And so what comes to mind is like, in our world, we're a VW and Audi. You also do a lot of VW and Audi, but also you have a lot of BMW experience. But in the VW and Audi world, if you took like a newer Audi A3 MQB car, pretty reliable car, no real major concerns or major problems. Yep. In my opinion, not a car I would generally recommend most people buy a warranty for, because it's an Audi, so it's going to come with a premium cost.
Yep.
But it's a pretty reliable car, so not going to have major problems. Now, again, we actually have one at the shop that needs an engine, but so for that guy, I'm sure he doesn't feel great about it. But as a general rule, it's a solid car. Whereas you look at like you have an SQ5, right?
Yeah.
Would probably depend on what I would say. SQ5s at 3 liters are pretty good engines. Those are pretty reliable, but when something happens, it can get pretty expensive.
Here's the thing with that. With something like an SQ5, or honestly, even any, we'll just stick in the European car world in general. I mean, if you're driving a Mark 6 2-liter non-turbo Jetta, probably not. But all it takes on that SQ5 is one repair of any substance to pay for that extended warranty, right? And the way I always explained it to customers, because like you, I, throughout my entire career, have gotten this question, right? And I sold cars before I was a technician, so of course every car needed an extended warranty back then. When your paycheck's on the line, of course they all need it. But what I would always tell people is if you don't have $1,500 to make a repair on this car, it's probably a smart thing to do. And
Good point.
Having seen so many customers with extended warranties, and I have kind of a mixed bag with extended warranties, but having seen so many customers with extended warranties, and some, they buy the $2,000 warranty and they never use it, right? It's a $2,000 peace of mind. And then some, dude, they spent $1,500 on the warranty and they've
$7,000
they've
worth of
cranked
work.
$7,000 because the transmission went out and a module went out, and just normal like Mark IV B5 failures, because that was kind of my bread and butter days, and they won the gamble on the lottery. And so I really think what you need to do is remove the mindset of simply answering the question of should I or shouldn't I, and look deeper at what you're actually looking at. You had mentioned there were some companies you have dealt with that were just nightmares, and I know I
Right.
have too. CNA back policies and Fidelity back policies, kind of the two that stand out as,
For
as
us, yeah.
being the best ones.
Fidelity has a close relationship with VOA.
Fidelity screws the technicians on labor times. CNA is and is bad. But what you really need to make sure you're looking at is not only what the policy covers, but really the better thing to look at is to try and find a policy that lists what's not covered. Because then, if it's not in that little paragraph of things that are not covered, it's covered.
Well, and they have two different types of warranties. Typically, there's exclusionary and non-exclusionary, and a lot of people don't know the difference.
Right.
And exclusionary is the way to go. So basically, what that says is we're going to cover everything in your car except for A, B, and C, and it's pretty cut and dry. The non-exclusionary warranties, they can get you in so many different ways. I had somebody call me, we always get the phone calls about the extended warranty. And of course I had to mess with them a little bit. And okay, tell me what it covers. And it was a non-exclusionary warranty. And they go, oh, we cover the speedometer. And they were listing things. And
But
they said,
not the instrument cluster.
right. So I go, okay, so let me get this straight. My speedometer fails, you guys will cover the speedometer. They go, yeah, of course. I go, well, let me ask you this. My speedometer can't be replaced separate from the instrument cluster. Do you guys cover the instrument cluster? Oh, well, no, we don't cover the instrument cluster. Okay, so if the speedometer fails and the instrument cluster has to be replaced to fix the speedometer, you'll cover that, right? Oh, no, we would only cover the speedometer. But what you're not understanding is I cannot replace just the speedometer. I have to replace the whole instrument cluster. Well, in that case, we wouldn't cover it.
Yep.
Okay, so you don't cover the speedometer then in this case. So they get very tricky and they play with labor times and.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly, nightmare scenarios. I mean, recently we had a car at the shop within the past year or so that had an aftermarket warranty, needed, I don't remember all the details, but it needed an engine. And we knew it needed an engine. We told the people that came out to look at it. The dude came out, the adjuster, and told our guys, you got to tear off the head.
Yep.
Well, obviously you guys know, and most people at home don't know, is that's on the customer's dime.
Right.
Yeah.
If the extended warranty decides to not cover it after that.
Yeah, the customer's
Exactly.
left holding the bag. So
Correct.
So,
We already knew it needed an engine, though.
Yeah, it's like there's a hole in the block, but they want you to tear the engine down
Correct.
to find the exact point of failure, and you're like, it doesn't matter. I can
Right.
see a piston
Right.
there. And
Yeah.
the way it works is you bring your car into the shop, right? Shop, like these guys, they diagnose your car, they call the extended warranty company and tell them it needs an engine, they give them the labor times and the parts and all that. Oftentimes with high dollar repairs, the insurance company or the aftermarket warranty company will send someone out to look at the car. And this could be anything from like your situation needing an engine to I've had them come to see if the car was modified before, and that can throw a wrench in the deal. Like, you think the manufacturer is not cool with aftermarket modifications? Like those kind of warranties, if you have window tint, they're now absolved of all responsibility.
Yeah, we've never really I haven't seen much of that, but I'm sure it exists.
And that's an extreme
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
but that's like I have definitely had warranty claims denied because a car had an intake on it and the radio failed, right? No possible way that these two could be related. So if you get to that scenario where the aftermarket, the warranty company wants more diagnosis, you as a customer, you have to pay for that. And if they don't cover it, now you're left with a $3,000 bill and a box full of parts sitting in the trunk of your
that's
car.
ultimately what happened with that customer.
Yeah.
They completely fucked them in a way that we were like, this is disgusting what they did to them. And they trapped the person in this situation where it's like they had to approve teardown to have a chance. And then we got there and they still denied the claim. And it was like, you guys are a bunch of fucking dirtbags.
Yeah, and that's a no-win. Like, the shop loses out.
No.
'Cause, like, how do you, in good faith, keep charging the customer for it? Because that's not fair. So they lose. The customer, obviously, is the one that gets super railed. And the aftermarket warranty company or whatever made their money and moved on to the next schmo who flows.
And I think from this, from my standpoint, owning a shop, the customer doesn't understand everything that goes on behind the scenes.
Of course.
To get that extended warranty to work for them, because they come in, they go, oh, I got an extended warranty, it's covered, and the way it was sold to them by the salesman
Yeah.
was it covers
Scumbags.
everything.
Yeah.
You don't need to pay for anything.
Yep, you're good.
And you just show them the warranty and they'll take care of everything. So then when they come in with that warranty and we have to tell them up front, look, this probably isn't going to cover everything. And sometimes they get upset with us. We're like,
Right.
look, I'm only going by what the warranty company is doing. We're not going to lower our rates because the warranty company says that's what we need to where we
Or
need to be.
shortcut a repair, or
Yeah,
not do
exactly.
it properly. Yeah, that I have ran into that more than once.
And I find
for
it's
sure.
also a problem for customers when, they're without their car for 2 to 3 days additional if they didn't have the warranty because we're waiting on authorization or we got to call back or we're waiting on a call back from the warranty company to get authorization so we can get the parts, or they're going to send an adjuster out to go and verify what we're saying is in fact true, and that just delays the job getting done.
Yeah, or they want to pull some bullshit and like send you a junkyard engine, or insurance companies are also really bad about that, counterfeit parts and junkyard parts. So yeah, I mean, so that like there is a ton of negatives. Now as a technician, it often can work out really well because there were several times where a repair would be a super easy repair, and like you found a shortcut or a way around the repair manual and you could crush it, right? Make like 500% efficiency on it. Well, we in good faith at the dealership that I worked at most often did not charge full boat labor rate to a customer for that, because like it's just not fair, right? There's tons of different repairs like this. It's just not fair. However, you better damn believe I'm not giving a fucking warranty company any kind of deal on that. No, I charge a customer $4. Y'all assholes are paying $9 because you fucked me on 4 other jobs 2 weeks ago. But I overall have seen more people win with extended warranty companies than I have seen lose. But I have seen some people lose big.
I think that was always my experience too, because we were at the dealer, and with the dealer, most of the contracts our customers got were Fidelity or some variation.
Well, it's sold at the dealer.
They're sold at the
or
dealer, right?
CarMax, the one CarMax sold was usually
I've
really
always
good
heard
too.
CarMax warranties are very good.
Yeah.
They
That's where I
just-
sold cars, so I feel like I get a little bit.
And
of
you're
a
right;
pulse.
those are good warranty companies. And USA, I think, is also, if you're a military, is a phenomenal company. We were talking about earlier, anything that's advertised on TV or has any sort of celebrity spokesperson, run far away from those companies.
Yeah, if Steve calls you 15 times to ask about your car's extended warranty, probably not going to get it
Well, I
done.
mean, the fact, it's funny. Obviously, the fact it's a meme with the whole like we're trying to contact you about your
I
vehicle's
saw your
extended
TikTok where
warranty.
you're like,
That one was interesting. But the fact that it exists shows you how much profitability that there is in the world for those things, because otherwise we wouldn't all be, I mean, literally everybody on the planet is getting nonstop phone calls about extended warranties, which is like, okay, what the hell is going on? Yeah. Obviously, we all get calls for cars that we owned 12 years ago.
Or it has 300,000 miles on them.
The next call I get, I think I might buy it just to see what happens, and then I can share with all of you.
That might be a good video.
We buy an extended warranty on a car that we know is going to be a fucking nightmare.
I'll buy a B5.5 Passat, W8 B5.5 Passat.
I knew somebody, actually, it's funny you would know this since you're more of a BMW guy. The girl I knew, her husband he was a realtor, and he got a 7 Series, 2011 or 2012 7 Series.
All right.
And she mentioned to me like, hey, like, and obviously I don't know BMW real well, but she knows I know about cars, and so she was like, hey, can you tell me about this? They said I brought it to BMW. They said it needs like $25,000 worth of work. It needs an engine, blah blah blah, this and that. And I was like, that doesn't sound right. Give me some details about the car. And then I looked into it, and I realized that they are piles of shit and you probably know this because I don't know. It seemed like I looked it up because I looked at the values of them, and you can buy like a 2012 7 Series for like
for
11 grand.
Yeah,
10
when they
grand.
were like 100 grand new.
Right.
Yeah, the depreciation just.
But it seems like there was a year, and I don't remember because this was a little while ago, but it looked like there was 1 year later that it was just like there was a line where they were all worth exponentially more. I don't think it was a body style change either, from what I remember.
It might have been.
They fixed the glitch.
Yeah, it's like they fixed the engine. I know because there's valve seals, right?
Valve seals were a big issue on the N62, and then now they're a bigger issue on the N63s, which is the twin turbo V8s, and they're such a big issue that they're recalling. Well, not really recalling it, but there's a class action lawsuit, and they're covering. I don't know all the details, but I think they're covering like 100% of an engine replacement up to 100,000 miles. If it's after that, then I think that they prorate
It's like a matrix,
yeah,
blah,
or
blah,
something
yeah,
like that. But they still charge you, $4,000 or something.
Well, that's what they
Yeah.
offered. They offered them some sort of thing where it's like, oh yeah, it should be 25 grand, but we'll only charge you like
19.
it was
We'll
like
give you a
six-
super deal.
It was like 16 or something like that, and I was
Yeah.
like, well, the car you could sell the
the
car for
car's
like
worth 8.
11, yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
In its
Yeah.
condition, if it's burning oil like
Yeah.
that, I don't because they burn oil, right?
Oh
The-
yeah,
the-
there's smoke and they burn oil, they consume oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all sorts of bad.
yeah. By the way, this drink. So why don't
Man,
you
you finished
tell
that
people?
quickly.
Yeah, I drink quickly.
Yeah. He's usually like 3 deep, and I this is how fast I drink.
why don't you tell people about the drink?
Okay, so the tequila, I have to look it up. I've asked my friend how many times, but he actually makes it for me. And what he does, he buys the tequila and then he marinates jalapenos in it for 2 days, and it is called
Yeah,
El
if you like.
Padrino,
Okay.
which stands for the Godfather, and
I like
it's
it.
pretty decently rated tequila. But yeah, he puts the jalapenos in it and gets marinated, and then he likes putting limeade with it as the mixer, which is I've had it that way and it's pretty good. I like carbonated drinks, so I use Zevia, and I don't have one with me or else I would show it, but it's
looks like this.
It's like this. It's a soda. It's like a healthy soda drink. It's basically like 2 ingredients: soda water, and it has like it's sweetened with stevia, but it's the ginger ale version of it. And I mixed that with it along with a squeeze of lime.
It was
And
good. I like it.
This is like,
Hell of a kick to it.
yeah, this is one of my favorite drinks. I love it.
I dig it. It's what I like that it's like you definitely get the spice and the jalapeno flavor, which I love. It's one of my favorite pepper flavors, but it's got like a nice warm mouthfeel to it. It's not so spicy. Might be a little spicy for you.
No, it's fine for
that's
me.
good.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah.
I am a Nancy when it comes to
I did
spicy
put a
food.
little less in his because I knew
Oh.
that he doesn't do a lot of spice.
Yeah. that
But
was
he
good.
did lick
It
the
was-
rim of your glass,
Nah.
so that helped.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Overall, super good drink. So, the extended warranty thing just becomes such a joke outside of like the auto industry, and there are plenty of shops that don't even like, fuck it, we're
Right.
not dealing with it because it can be such a headache, man. And I've had warranty companies nitpick every single part number, like, no, you can't, like, we're not going to pay for these
This
3
clamp,
bolts
yeah.
or this clamp, and like, no, like, this is part of the job, and this is where I think people get the most frustrated as a vehicle owner is you have the extended warranty. The repair is covered, but you still end up having to pay $600 because they don't cover all the things that if you do the job correctly,
You should be replacing
get
with
replaced.
it. Yeah.
Bolts and sealants and things like that.
I have a perfect example. So literally 2 weeks ago, we had a car in the shop, and it needed the active shutters were bad. It's raining. The active shutters failed, and so we had to buy them as dealer only. And well, the part I don't remember exactly, but like our cost on the part was like $600, and list is $680 or something. Do we need to
think
pause
not.
it?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can go.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So the cost on the part was like $600, let's say, and I don't know what the list was. Let's say $680 or whatever. And the warranty company goes, okay, we'll authorize $540 for the part. We're like, but no, we pay $600.
Yeah, right.
We can't. You're gonna only authorize me, $60
loss.
less
A net loss, right?
than what I can buy it for. And then they wouldn't cover. They said, oh, the average labor rate is $20 less than what we're paying or what we're charging an hour. And we said, not for a European shop, and their Tire Kingdom is charging more, than what.
Maybe I should send my
Yeah.
customer to Tire Kingdom
Yeah.
for this.
And this is not a cheap car. So,
Yeah.
and then all said and done, by the time they discounted the labor, they wouldn't pay the diagnostic fee. They wouldn't pay obviously taxes or shop supplies or any of the other little things. it only paid like 50. It only covered like 50% of the whole repair, and then we look like assholes in front of the customer because we're like, we know you have an extended warranty. You know, your bill is let's say $1,200. They're paying $600. You got to pay the other $600. And they're like, but I have a warranty, and my salesman told me that,
and it was covered. And then that's the problem. Yeah. It was covered, so they don't like the extended warranty company is not the one telling them they got to pay $700. It's you or it's you, and so you seem to be the one screwing the customer and charging them all this extra money. Them not they weren't there, and the phone call that you had with them where you legit like you're fighting for this customer.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's in our best interest that that customer doesn't pay anything.
And I mean, my service advisor's on the phone through the whole process, a cumulative 3 hours.
Right.
Like legitimately 3 hours on the phone, faxing, emailing back and forth, and like trying to get authorization. They want to know part numbers. They want to see copies of our invoice, so what we paid for the parts, and like all these things. And they want to know what labor guide we're using, and they want pictures of the car, and they want all these things, and you're just like you're having to spend all this extra money or all this extra time that we're not getting paid for. Yep. And so it's frustrating on our end, and you're trying to do the right thing for the customer, and then the customer just gets upset because we're not covering we're overcharging or whatever.
They're blaming
think.
you. Yeah. You're not covering it. You don't want the warranty company to cover it because you're not going to make enough money.
Yeah, but that just comes down to educating your customer, and we do a pretty good job at that. I say there was one time we had a warranty company that wanted me to put a used radiator. So we had it was a Jaguar, and it was leaking from the radiator, and they covered the radiator, but they would only authorize like $30 or something. And I'm like, this is a $400 radiator, and they go, well, we can find one right here for $30. I go, where? And they go, it's some junkyard. I'm like, wait, you want me to put a used radiator in the car? Oh yeah, absolutely. I go, no. There is a used radiator in the car now, and it's leaking.
I already got one of those.
We are not putting a used radiator in the car. This is not how we operate.
Will you authorize stop leak? Yeah. Okay, because then I get to put an engine in it in like a month.
Yeah, right.
And I think that's one of the things that bringing your car to the right shop also changes the variable of their awareness of extended warranties and what they're willing to accept, and then they're gonna fight for you in that circumstance to say like, fuck that.
Yeah.
We're not doing that shit, because if you brought it to Tire Kingdom, people who work there, now I'm sure there are plenty of talented people who work in Tire Kingdoms around the world, but the general rule I would assume is most of them are not going to push back super hard against extended warranties.
I know for a fact there are, and I'm not just talking about Tire Kingdom, just anybody, any shops, any independent shops that will kind of bow down to whatever.
If you're watching that and your shop does that shit, y'all need to stop. Because you're screwing yourself and you're screwing everybody else, and you're letting those dick bags win. Johnny extended warranty dick bag. That didn't flow as well. So it's not in my head.
But they'll be like, well, they're covering some of it, and they're giving us we do have to discount our warranty a little, and we got to cut back our hours. And then they're just shortcutting themselves. And they're going, well, it's for the customer. It's for the customer. And they just really what it comes down to, I think, they don't want to call the customer and go, this is not going to cover.
Right.
And then they get shit from the customer.
Well,
so
I mean, the reality is that as an insurance company, you only get you only make money by
not spending it.
By not spending
it,
right? Your job is essentially, if you want profitability, is to fuck people over. That's it. That's why insurance companies make money.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of insurance companies, in case you didn't notice.
And our approach at the dealership on like factory warranty is how do we figure out how to get this covered, right? How do we make it so that the customer doesn't have to pay? Because despite what a lot of people believe, at least the dealer I worked at and me in particular, if it was covered under warranty, I'm winning. I don't have to wait for authorization. I don't have to have a customer make sure they have the funds. I don't have to have the daughter talk to dad and make sure it's cool. Like, fix that shit and get the damn car done. And no mad customer because they didn't have to pay anything. And so we always worked really hard to try and find a way to get it covered. And we did that with aftermarket and extended warranties too. It often, though, was a big time suck. I mean, I remember going through fucking like 87 parts for a repair and, cross-checking all the part numbers and making sure that this, like, printing out parts of the repair manual that said this is a required replacement part. Also, we can get a $1.50 bolt covered. But if you don't do that shit,
the customer's on the hook for everything.
The customer's going to get screwed. and then you have now set that standard because there's only so many warranty companies, and there's only so many of the people on the customer service line that you can deal with. So to get the same person is not terribly uncommon. Well, now you've set the precedent with that warranty company as a service advisor that you're a chump, and like they're just going to push you over. That's not the right thing I'm trying to say.
I feel like you get red flagged. I don't know if that's a thing. I just feel like if you
shadow banned.
Yeah, shadow banned. Well, as a technician, you know, it was funny because extended warranty companies, it was more work, but you know, I was just like, it is what it is. This is what we're going to do, and we're just going to do it the right way, and we're going to be cool about it. You know, they're going to send an adjuster out to verify, and I just understood that that's just what it is.
Right.
But some of the guys I worked with, they would take it personal. You know, they're going to send somebody to check my work. I know what I'm doing. Like, dude, he's not coming here to check you specifically. They didn't say, well, Johnny is working on the car. We better go check his work.
Yeah, Johnny
so,
race car.
and they would get shitty with these guys, you know, and they're just there to do their job. So I was always, I did the opposite. I was always super nice to the guys.
Same.
Hey, how you doing? Let me put the car up for you. Is this going to be a better picture? What else can I do for you? And a lot of times you'll get more covered.
Yeah,
because the
you're
guys
not
are
acting like an ass.
Yeah, and they're way more appreciative. I had one guy one time. We had an oil leak on a BMW. Surprise, surprise, on a valve cover, and it was leaking on the back cover. And it was leaking, but it wasn't like pouring down the back of the engine, right? But it needed to be replaced. And if it wasn't pouring down at that point, it was going to in the very near future. So they had an extended warranty. So we, you know, said it needed valve cover gaskets. So he comes out to verify it, and he's looking at it. He goes, man, it really needs to be leaking bad for me to cover this. And I was always really nice. The guy's been out there a million times. So he goes, let me look around. So he looks around, and he sticks his finger in the oil bucket, you know, where we had and he gets oil on his finger, and he sticks his finger up in there and takes a picture with his finger covered in oil.
Nice.
And like he had gotten it off the back of the cylinder head or something. And he goes, look, we're gonna cover it. It is leaking, I understand, but it really, and he kind of like said it without saying it. He looked at me, he goes, next time, make sure it's really leaking.
Yeah. Wink, wink.
Yeah, like, make sure. Like, I want to see lots of oil
like,
in this area.
Bring the used oil bucket over and pour it on this engine.
Because he doesn't want to go out there and take pictures just for the company to go, we're not going to cover it. You know what I mean? So
in my experience, most of the adjusters were pretty cool, and like, they're just there to get the facts.
Well, a lot of them are former techs, right?
Exactly.
Like most of these guys. I mean, you got to remember, these guys know about cars. Otherwise, they couldn't be an actual warranty adjuster. So they worked on cars. They know what you're going through. They try to. I think they want to take care of customers. They don't want people to get fucked over.
Well, and Jamie's strategy of like, one, just in general in life, don't be a dick, but really working with those guys to try and help. Like, look, if you can work with someone to help them and make their job easier, are they going to be more help to you, or are they going to be less help to you? It's pretty fucking simple what the answer is. And I was kind of like you, like, what do you need me to do? And I definitely had guys that I know probably by the book should have said no, but covered it because we did the right thing for them, right? And I've also had the opposite. I remember this one real vividly. This was on like an 05 Touareg, and they were not super common, but they were somewhat common about front diffs going out, making all kinds of damn racket. So I get in this Touareg, I drive it about 60 feet, and I'm like, okay, it's probably further than that, but I drive it. It needs a front diff, no question in my mind. So they have aftermarket warranty. The guy comes out, he's a real dick face to me. And we ride, and then I have to put it up in the air and spin it up in the air, and then we ride again. And he's like, "It's not the diff." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Like, you're the expert here, bro." He's like, "It's the right front wheel bearing." I'm like, walk me through how you got there. He's like, "I just know." I'm like, okay, okay. So look, I don't give a shit. I'm getting paid to fix the car, so I'll put 100 damn wheel bearings in the thing, slap a wheel bearing in it. Get in it, drive it again, and wouldn't you damn know, here we go, the same fucking noise that the car had before. And so
Please tell me the same guy came back out.
they didn't send an adjuster the second time. But that's when I thought, I'm like,
Oh, this is gonna be amazing.
I'm gonna make sure I'm here for this guy to come back. And no, they didn't send an adjuster. They just said to go ahead and order the front diff. And so like I got paid for both, and that's cool with me.
Yeah.
But it was a super inconvenience for the customer for being down
week
without their
probably,
car
yeah.
for a week or longer with that kind of stuff. So it's, man, the long and short of it is there is no, if you buy this warranty, you will be fine, right? Even the warranty companies that we mentioned before, CNA, Fidelity, and USAA, I think you had mentioned, like, they're really good, but you can catch the wrong person on the wrong day, and a weird repair that is in, even with the exclusionary, that was the one.
Exclusionary is the one you want. Yep.
Even with the exclusionary policy, that it can go sideways for you.
I also wonder if you have like an asshole shop who's not willing to play ball. Because you got to jump through a bunch of hoops, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
obviously that doesn't really qualify for what you do, and our advisor is really good and has a lot of experience in dealing with the warranty companies. But like, I wonder if there's a shop who just like, they don't want to play ball. They don't want to do all the
I'm not
all the
lowering my labor
bullshit.
rate
They don't-
25 cents.
Yeah, like just whatever. They just like, fuck you.
There is. I
Right.
mean, there's
I mean,
got to be.
We know the industry.
They won't even
right?
call. They're just like, yeah, it won't be, it's not covered. So.
You're right.
Yeah,
I bet you that happens.
It probably does.
sure.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
It's so. I mean, that would be the egregious one. Which again, I mean, as we've talked about a million times before, when it comes to any shop-related stuff, is find people that are good to work with, who you trust.
And I would say too, just kind of circle back to where we were talking about what warranty companies to pick, the exclusionary warranties. But there's always different tiers, right? There's like the bronze, the silver, the gold, the platinum, the ultra platinum, the ultra plus platinum, gold, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever the highest tier is my recommendation.
100% agree with that.
Anything less than that, the warranty company I feel like is winning because they know what the most common repairs are for that car, and they're just taking that stuff right off the top. Now, when you go with the best of the best plan, they're gonna, you're getting what you pay for, I guess, is what it comes down to, in my opinion.
Well, and oftentimes what they'll do is they'll offer, they may have all the options, or they'll have like two options where it's everything or powertrain. And those are the ones where I think I've seen people get in the worst place on, because the things that I consider powertrain, they might not. So you could have a diff blowout, and I mean, that's a no-brainer to me. That's part of the powertrain. But it was the bearing that failed, and the bearing in the differential is not powertrain, right? So that little difference can get people in a really bad way, and they think, oh, it's my powertrain, and I think, oh, it's your powertrain's covered, no problem, and they end up getting super effed.
It's also very important for the people who are submitting the claim, the words they use
They're very important.
in how they describe what the failure is, because the warranty company will try to trip you up on that. So like, for example, let's say they cover struts, right? They will cover struts, but they won't cover sensors. But let's say we have a strut in there
That has a sensor built into it.
that has a sensor built into it that you can't replace separately. You would have to get a whole strut, and the sensor is what's failed. So realistically, the sensor is bad, right? But you got to replace the strut, which is a covered part. But because we know they're playing games, we're going to say, hey, the strut is either making noise or it's
The
leaking.
strut's the failure point,
The
not-
strut is the failure point, just to help the customer get that part covered. Because in reality, that's what the right thing
That's
is.
the right thing to do, right?
Yeah.
And that's up to the interpretation of the shop to try to make sure they're fighting for the right thing. Which again circles back to a lot of this stuff, which is having the right shop means you have somebody who's actually in your corner, as opposed to like whatever.
Average,
If you get paid,
whoever,
right? If you get paid, you're getting paid. If you're not,
doesn't
whatever.
matter.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of verbiage that I think technicians really, and advisors too, they really underestimate how important it is. I went to a training class, a billion years ago at this point, and I think it was like an alignment class like ADOS or something like that, and for some reason, we went down the rabbit hole of dealing with insurance companies. So, whatever you have your car insurance through, not so much warranty companies. And the instructor was so adamant about this is how you have to approach this as a technician, and you need to make sure your advisor or whoever is calling does it this way, because here's how you get things covered. Don't say you think something is wrong. Tell them you know. This is what the problem is. This is like speak in facts.
Yeah.
And make sure you let them know, hey, we're not going to be putting not aftermarket. We are not going to put counterfeit parts. Counterfeit parts was the one he liked to use.
Counterfeit.
So that they're not buying some janky shit off of eBay for your $125,000 BMW. They're getting factory OE parts.
A used radiator.
Yeah,
from-
a used
from a
radiator,
radiator
for your
or
Jag, which is just like, I want to be surprised by that. I'm just not. And it's,
I mean,
asinine.
when that happened, I had just opened my shop. It was just me, and I called, and they said that, and I was just like, did he really just say that? Like, I was legitimately shocked by that at that time. And then, but yeah, since then I've seen way too much, and it's very little shocks me anymore.
So,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so Jamie, in your experience, as a customer, what can you do to try and help the shop get your stuff covered, right? Because it's, in my brain, it's the customer and the shop, technician, advisor, whoever, all working together to get the car fixed. So it's kind of like them versus the warranty company. What can the customer do to increase the odds of getting something covered?
Number one is to tell the people you have an extended warranty.
We're laughing at that. 'Cause no joke.
It's like half the time.
The
It's like,
customer will pay for something.
I think I have an extended warranty.
Or they'll pay for it and go, how come this wasn't covered under my extended warranty? And we're like, we've never seen your car before. How the hell are we supposed to know?
It happens way more than you think.
Way
so
more.
You need
That's
to
a
tell
good
us
one.
like before you even think there might be a problem. Like if you have an extended warranty company, like what we do is we want your policy. We will save the information in our computer. So every time your car comes up, we have the expiration date, the expiration mileage. We have the policy number, the phone number for the claims. Like we have it all. We have the company. So that way we don't need the paperwork anymore. We already know what we need to do. But if you don't tell us, we don't know. So
when they drop the car off or whatever, like that's the time for that conversation.
Yeah. Be like, hey, by the way, I've got an extended warranty company. And if you have the pamphlet, which everybody should have in their glove box, bring it in and say, make a copy of this so you have it, or get the information or whatever. So we have the information. We need to know what policy you have, because like we were talking about earlier, you could have the gold, silver, platinum, whatever. We need to know what plan you have so we can check before we call to see if what we're looking at is actually covered or not. I think those are probably the most two important things that I can think of.
I think that's great advice.
Yeah, I was along the lines of that, similar, but I want to give people something actionable in terms of buying an extended warranty. Obviously, we talked about the plan, whatever, but you talk about companies. So we talked about companies that we know. You mentioned USAA. What about ones they definitely shouldn't buy?
All the rest of them.
I mean,
we
pretty much all
know
the
a
rest
lot of them, but
So-
let's. I don't know because I don't deal with this stuff on a day-to-day basis. But like, give me some of the ones that are egregious.
Hands down, by far, the worst extended warranty company we've ever dealt with, and we've gotten to the point where we just refuse to take it, is CarShield.
Why?
It is a battle every time you call. You call them and they'll call you back. That might be tomorrow. It might be 2 days from now. You call them again and it's somebody else. They don't know they don't know why you're calling. And then they're the ones that want to use used parts. They want to cut down your labor rate. I mean, they were telling us our labor rate's $90. I don't know anybody, like even the shittiest shop in town no one's $90 an hour. In this part of Florida, that's just not.
It's not normal, right?
It's not normal. And they're telling us, oh, that's the average in your area. No, it's not. I promise you.
Sure
It's
you're not thinking of fast food hamburgers?
Right. And then they don't want to pay anything. They want to fight you on everything. And it's just, I mean, my manager was like ready to rip someone's head off talking to them over the phone because they're just so unreasonable, and you can't get anything done. Like you have to set aside hours of your time to deal with him on the phone, and
Just to
literally
get a single repair covered.
right. And literally, he would be like, "I need you to watch the counter while I'm going to be on the phone, because I could be on the phone for 40 minutes this time," you know, and.
And a lot of times, those situations take more than one phone call back and forth before you even get a
Right.
final approval to get the stuff done and whatever.
Had the customer just paid for it, they could have been in and out same day or or maybe the next day. But instead, the car's there for a week, and the customer's still paying 80% of the repair.
Yeah, this horseshit. They would have been better off just paying the rest and getting on with their life.
Yeah, and you know, I feel bad for the customer because they bought this warranty, and you don't want to tell them they made the wrong decision, but they made the wrong decision.
I feel like I've seen Car Shield commercials, and that
Yeah,
to me is
that's the
or
one-
got a like a direct mailer in the mail.
They're all over the TV. I think Ice-T is their spokesperson.
Bro,
So,
bro.
you know, if Ice-T is telling you this is your extended warranty and this is who you need to, that's just run away.
It may be possible
Not my
Ice-T
not my go-to guy.
may
for-
not know much about extended warranty.
Yeah, I feel like that's not the area of expertise that he can provide.
You were talking about the customer letting the shop know, and that made me think of something else that people, when they're buying a warranty, need to be very aware of. And so the dealer that I worked at, like I've said a million times, are really, really good. But for a long time in the area, there were 3 dealers for the brand I worked for, and 2 of them were fucking terrible, and 1 was good. And the other 2 dealers, when they sold extended warranties on cars, which is pretty common, what was a little bit of text in the policy that they wouldn't necessarily be upfront with.
You mean not say anything about it at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean completely avoid talking about. And not only was their sales department shitty, but their service departments were super shitty. Is that if that customer bought that extended warranty and they were within 100 miles of that dealer, they had to bring it back to that dealer, or they had like a $400 deductible.
Oh my gosh.
So they were pigeonholed into bringing it back to that shitbag dealership when the one that was like actually good was right up the road, which you should never have bought a car from that dealership to begin with.
Well, those
so,
since have sold to other people.
yeah,
Those-
that's
those dealers are no longer owned
that
by
is.
those dealer
I'm
groups.
still worried
and-
about the one.
Yeah.
2 are good. One
Yeah.
anyway. So be when when you're buying this new car or used car or whatever, and you're super excited, and like the finance manager's just trying to like buy the key policy, buy the wheel policy, buy undercoating, buy all the things, right? And you're like, fuck it, I don't want to deal with that. And they come to extended warranty, and then they tell you like they're going to give you this really great price because they're going to help you out today because they have some flexibility. Don't just buy it. I know that they're high pressure a lot of times in F&I,
No.
finance and insurance. Insurance, that's right, finance, insurance.
Yeah.
But you really need to be aware of what the policy says, not what the person tells you, because
They don't know anything about anything.
honestly, that's it. Like they know
Zero.
They
Yeah.
know what they need to say to sell the policy.
They
Yes.
know how to sell you a policy, and
The job of an F&I person is to sell product,
Well,
and their
yeah.
product is financing
in insurance.
and insurance.
and they get paid very well
They get paid a
to
lot
sell
of
an
money.
extended warranty.
And say that they will ram the biggest pile of dog shit down your throat and could give 2 fucks about it.
And they're most that I've dealt with don't really know. So you need to have that policy in front of you, and you need to read it. And what you can oftentimes do, I think, is you don't always have to buy it that day. You do if you finance it.
You do if you
but
finance it.
sometimes you can have
You
like
also
a
can
30-day.
cancel your policy afterwards, which gets F&I guys
Oh,
super fucking fired up.
oh yeah.
They love
super
that.
fired up.
Yeah,
They
so
really hate that.
So if they're a real asshole,
Yeah,
buy it
buy
and
it,
then cancel it like a
buy
week later.
everything
Yeah.
and cancel all of it.
Well, and I've had a
We
couple
just unlocked the secret.
Yeah.
You have F&I guys watching right now.
You motherfuckers. Yeah.
I had a couple customers do this, and I thought it was really clever. They asked me about a policy, and I don't know if they brought it up or if I mentioned it to them, but I had them, bring me the policy that you're thinking about buying. Let me look at it as your mechanic. Let me look at it and let you know if it's a good policy.
I think you're such an exception in that place, though, right? It's like not a lot of people are going to be willing to guide their customer in that way. And I mean, obviously, anybody who is in that situation has somebody who can do that. A, hopefully the person actually knows what they're talking about. But B, obviously anybody who's in that situation is fortunate to even be there to begin with. I mean, I think the biggest problem is most people are just, in every one of these things, they're just like, that guy told me it's pretty good, so like I bought it because I thought it was good. And like, obviously, most people are probably grossly unaware of how little the F&I person has of your best interest in mind. It is the least of your best interest of probably most of the humans you're going to meet in your life.
And that like everything could be from a place of malice, but if it's not, it definitely comes from a place of ignorance. Where they just don't know. They got the same pitch they're giving you, they got from the extended warranty company or the key coverage company or the wheel coverage company.
They're puking out just a regurgitated version of what they were told, and that's it. I mean, and oftentimes I think they don't even have any interest in knowing any better.
No, they don't care.
You know, either, again, like he said, it's either malicious generally, but if it isn't malicious, it's pure ignorance because they could give a shit and all they want to do is get paid. Yeah. And I'm not judging anybody for making money. Obviously, everybody has to, but doing it in a way that I think
they're just doing the sales pitch that they were told. I mean, when I was 18, I was working at a dealership washing cars. When I turned 18, I went to sell cars, which found out was the worst job of my life. But I had these slimy salesmen teaching me how to sell cars, and we were selling Toyotas, and they were telling me this stuff. At the time, I had no idea. I didn't know much about cars back then. So they were like, yeah, if you make sure you let the people know on these Toyotas that, because people were really concerned with rust issues from back a long time ago, that the new ones, if you scratch the car, it has this special paint that will, has a coating in it that will prevent the car from rusting. And like, okay. And then we were opening the, it was like, what? Okay. And then so I'm telling people this because that's what I was told. I didn't know any better. And then you open the hood and they had the plastic decorative engine cover, you know, and the sales guy was telling me, that's the intake. It's going to give 15 more horsepower than the previous model and all this stuff.
Does not surprise me.
And and, you know, I didn't know anything about cars, so that's what I'm telling people. And then the people that really did know stuff about cars, and I'm telling it, they're looking at me like, what is this kid telling me, you know? And then later on in life, I look back and go, man, that was, I feel really bad. I just didn't know any better.
I sucked.
And listen, you get it when it comes from someone who's a kid. Of course, you all have to have blind faith in somebody, especially, you know, we're a little bit older before the internet was a normal thing. You couldn't just like, boop, 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 boop. Yeah. This says you're a goddamn liar. Like, that was when you had to actually know things. So now it's a little bit different.
Yeah, again, having dealt with many, many warranty companies throughout my career, I am overall pro extended warranty in a lot of cases. Now, I didn't buy an extended warranty on my wife's Touareg. Had it not been covered under powertrain and the diesel emissions warranty, there's a pretty damn good chance I would have bought an extended warranty, depending on the price. Now, obviously, I can fix the car, no problem, but I still got to buy parts. And if I have a $1,200 warranty that I purchase, one or two repairs in straight parts, that's paid for. And that's how I looked at it. So if you don't have the money in the bank to make $1,000, $1,500 repair, you really got to consider it as an insurance policy. And like, ultimately, it doesn't impact me anyway what somebody buys or doesn't buy for extended warranty, but I just hate seeing people get a car, be really excited about it, a year later something breaks and they don't have the money to fix it.
You know that a Touareg warranty is no way it's $1,200, right? It's gonna be like $4,000.
They were gonna give me a good deal. They said they would help me out.
Can you get paid to work on your own car?
Yes,
that would be awesome.
You absolutely can.
Absolutely.
So there you go. Start a shop, become certified, buy a car, get the warranty, and then make sure everything breaks on it.
Also buy like $85,000 worth of tools.
And then you'll save like negative
hundreds.
100,000.
You'll save at least hundreds or even dozens of dollars.
Dozens of dollars.
Yeah.
Awesome. What else? I feel like there's more. We haven't shit on extended warranty company commercials enough.
It's funny. I don't know if I've ever seen a extended warranty commercial.
You have just blocked it out.
Maybe.
You had to have
Prompted,
just
or heard one
blocked.
on the radio.
The phone
or-
calls are relentless.
Yeah.
They make me want to kill myself. They're probably the sole reason why you can't answer your phone at all.
That and Spectrum Internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop calling me, dicks.
Well, Jamie, thank you for the
wonderful
wonderful liquor. And also check out we have a build series we're working on. We have a video. Charles is gonna have a video, and also Jamie's gonna be doing kind of a behind the scenes video from his side. He also has a YouTube channel, so we'll link that in the description where you can check that out. And that's an episode.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Cool.
Okay, bye.
If you see it on TV, don't buy it.
Exactly.